Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rachakwadash. That's call halal, all praises to Yahweh is who the word ignorantly calls God, okay, who is the true power, or the living power, okay, and also call halal Yahweh Bahasham, all right, in the name, that's Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is who the word ignorantly calls Jesus. Okay, this is the true power. Okay, of the nation of Israel. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing this word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. This is Amathia from Great Millstone, Dallas. And I wanted to go into this video here. I actually had to redo this because I just went on to spoke on it, and somehow when I hit play, it actually pushed it back, and this is Roseanne Barr, who was actually, saying the Sims anti sim thing, and I had to kind of push it forward some because you know now they track that, so you can have your video flagged and things like that. So I actually stop and redo it. But this is going into how Esau they have their tongue falling upon themselves. Now, don't get it twisted. Roseanne, she's a small hat, but she speaks against the small hats. But I mean, she don't speak against it because she still are pro form, but she speaks against the rulers of the world. She want to see some type of change, but don't get it wrong. She is juiced in, but she's kind of like a rebellious small hat. But like I say, she's still juiced in. She used to have her own show at one point. But she like to, she talked too much, and they always try to put her in her place. But nevertheless, she is a small hat. But I wanted to play this video, and Lord willing, this will be edifying to the elect, and I'll get some scriptures as well.
And I don't want that here. And I think that that's what they're working on.
Who's they? Who are you talking about? Who's funding
the owners of the world?
The owners of the world. Who's that?
You want me to say who the owners of the world are? This is where everyone starts asking me. I love this, that you would ask me that. I might have to have a cigarette. It makes me nervous to say who they are. First of all, I've been saying it for 30 years, and people, when I tell them, their eyes just go dead because they cannot handle the truth. Remember that Jack Nicholson movie? You can't handle the truth. You don't want.
Hey, and that's one thing, and Slocky, I'm gonna be stopping it, but she said the owners of this world. Now, what the Lord said, the owners of the world, how did they receive it? How did they receive it? I was gonna get that as well. This is Job 9 and verse 24. Okay. It says the earth is given, okay? It is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, the earth is given. So the Lord gave Esau Edom the earth. Why is that? Not because Esau just has power like that, because he used him, the lowest of the low, to bring us low. So it was like a 180. We supposed to be on top as Israelites. Okay, you so-called Black Latinos and Native Americans, knowing that we are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth as well. So it's not just a color thing, because we are spread throughout the earth and amongst other nations as well. But we supposed to be ruling, but the Lord told us, and look at Deuteronomy 28. All right, just kind of briefly, and this is why the earth was given to the hands of the wicked. Just one of the points here. Deuteronomy 28, I'm going to read in verse 1. It shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently into the voice of Yahweh, thy power, because it's in all caps, so that means Yahweh, okay? to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And then it goes into what will be all these blessings which shall come to thee and to overtake thee, and thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power. Then what happened? It says, blessed thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. And it goes on how blessings, we're going to see blessings upon blessings over our enemies. We're going to be smiting them and basically be rulers. We're going to be over the enemies. Now that goes on to show the blessings all the way down to verse 14. Okay. But 13, and then when it says 14, it says, if thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. And what did we do? Went after other gods. Now, and what happened? Look at the top. It says consequences and disobedience. But but it shall come to pass, it's verse 15. But if it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Yahweh thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. What curses are that? We just read how we were going to be blessed in the city, but now look, since we've been disobedient, whoring after other gods, look at this. Cursed thou shalt be in the city, and cursed thou shalt be in the field. And everything we just received, he said we receive as a blessing, it goes through, but look at where the blessing that now is a curse. And that's why we were brought over through chattel slavery. That's why we've gotten our backs beaten. That's why he had put a base man over us. That's why the earth was given to the hands of the wicked. And also, and to show us what not to do. We want to whore out the other guys, so he gave it over to what? A base man. These men, the wicked that basically worship these other guys. All right. So now she says she went into what? The ones who rule the earth, who rule the world, because they were given to the hand. It was given to them.
On it. But it's so obvious that I just will say it. The owners of the world are the royals, kings, queens, dukes, duchesses, imams, popes, wizards that own every single dime on earth and bank at the Bank of International Settlements. That's the owners of the world who decide every war and arm both sides because they make money.
See, they arm both sides. So these wars that we're seeing, they are being ruled, they are being ran and controlled, and they make money by who? The royals. She just mentioned it. All right, the kings and queens. You got to think over there in England, because when you look at the Rothschilds, what they say they have the might over here with the in America is the power, and then over there at the over there across over there in England and all the places where they hold the riches to show what they have, Okay. Go through the so we seeing that she's basically exposing them, but like I said, don't be fooled now. She's a small hat, she always already say, oh yeah, this anti-Semitic, we gotta believe and we gotta stop this anti Shem thing. But see, that's a part of what? That's a part of this, the tongue falling upon themselves. All right. This is Psalm 68. Oh, 64, I think. This is Psalms 64 and verse 8. And I'm going to get right to it. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see thee shall flee away, and all men shall fear and declare the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. And this is Yahweh Shai's doing. Yahweh, while Yahweh Shah is doing the Most High Yahweh. Okay, all these things is being caused, and them tongues to fall upon themselves. Okay, is because of the Lord has set these things for them to do this. Okay, He had worked the minds of these wicked to speak upon themselves. That's why now you're seeing all these Edomites that are upset. Oh man, this is going on, and look what Trump doing. Look what's happening to America. We got to take our country back. See, this is the part of that tongue follows upon themselves, and even the ones that's juiced in, like I say, they're starting to speak out. Like I say, Roseanne, you have I can't think of his name right now. Damn. I can't think of his name, but he just started speaking some things as well. He played on one of the Spider-Man movies. Damn, I can't think of his name. He didn't play on a lot of movies, but he starts. He might have speaking these things upon themselves, and this is the work of the Lord. You heard what she said. She was like the kings of the earth, the queens, the dukes. And where did them dukes come from? Let's go to Deuteronomy 36. I was looking at that earlier. Genesis 36. All right, you see what it say? Esau's move to the right. It said descendants of Esau. All right, it says now these are the generations of Esau, Edom. Okay, I'm gonna go on down here to a little further down. All right. See over here to the right, it says rulers of Edom. You see where it says these are the dukes that came out of Horites, Duke Lotan, Duke, this is verse 29, Duke Shabal, Duke Zibeon, Duke Anah, Duke Dashun, Duke Izar, Duke Dashun. These are the dukes that came of Hori among the dukes in the land of Seir. Okay. And like it said, they called them what? Mount Seir. And the Lord said, I am against thee, Mount Seir. Okay. And let's go down here to verse. It was I think it was 40. Verse 40. All right. It says Genesis 36 and 40. And these are the names of the dukes that came of Esau, according to their families and their places by their name: Duke Tanah, Duke Alva, Duke Jatheth or Jatheth, and it just goes on and on. Okay, I'm gonna just get through reading it. Duke Kanaz, Duke Teman, Duke Mibzar, Duke Megdal, Duke Aram. These be the dukes of Edom according to their inhabitants in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. And they try to hide this. But no, this is where the dukes came from. This is who she's speaking about. Okay? Remember and the Lord, the Lord was talking about how he was going to be basically it was going to be a city that was going to be destroyed, and this is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, and also this is Esau's rulership. It's not just really Babylon. He's conquered the world. All right. So this rulership is the man, like I said, the kings, the Chaldeans. Okay. These Chaldeans are ruling the earth as well. And the Lord speaks on those as well. He said that in what is that? Jeremiah 50. Let me go ahead and get that as well. That's why we gotta, when we look and you put these things together, there's nothing new under the sun. How we were gonna have the Lord said he was gonna have war with Amalek from generation to generation. He said Esau, Edom, the Edomites were gonna have a perpetual hatred for who? They're brethren. Okay, we came out the same womb. Our forefather Jacob and Esau came out the same womb, but yet he's looking to destroy us. Ever since then, ever since that blessing, Genesis 27. But he gave up his birthright in Genesis 25. So and it said Genesis 25. What it goes into how we was going to be fighting them within the womb. Okay. This is Jeremiah 50 in verse 25. It says, "The Lord has opened his armory and has brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord Yahweh, the power of the Lord of Yahweh of hosts," okay, in the land of the Chaldeans, okay, the sovereign Lord of what? Many armies, the land of the Chaldeans, okay, and we're still in the land of the Chaldeans. That's why the Lord said his sword was going to be upon the Chaldeans. I think that's in the same, that's in the same chapter as well. Yeah. Look at this. The voice flee out of escape from the land of Babylon and declare Zion and the vengeance of the Lord of power, the vengeance of his temple. All right. And this is going into what? The modern day Babylon, because Babylon over there in the land, the actual land of ancient Babylon is what? Iraq. And we see the Lord, it is not desolate. The Lord didn't destroy that off the face of the earth. But he's talking about this Babylon here was going to be destroyed off the face of the earth. Verse 35, it says, "A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord." And the Chaldeans was those, as you mentioned, those sorcerers, okay? Those warlocks that was in Babylon. Okay, they, Magi, I believe they're called Magi, these magicians. That's the ones that when they Aaron's put the staff down, and then they put their staff down, and all of them turned into snakes. But what happened? The Lord, the staff of Aaron, that Moses told Aaron to lay his staff down, what? It ate up their snakes. It ate both of the snakes, showing that the power of the Lord will overtake the Chaldeans. Okay, because they're power on the left hand side. Jeremiah 50 and 35, it says, "A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men." Okay? So the Lord is going to overtake these Edomites. That's why when you read about, what is that in Numbers? See that perpetual hatred when they refuse to let us pass the King's Highway. I believe that's Numbers 20, around the 14th, 15th verse, and it reads on through like the 20-something verse, and it goes into how they refused, and they basically threatened us with the sword, and we just wanted to go through the King's Highway. We weren't going to go through the land. We weren't going to go into the fields. We weren't drink their water. We just wanted to get half passage, and they came out on us. But that's all right, because when we receive this, when the Lord come down on these Chaldeans and that deliverance, we're going to break out into that song, like it says in Exodus 15, that song of Moses. And that same song of Moses goes into what? I believe Revelations 15. But like I said, she said these are the rulers, and these rulers are going to be taken down. These Chaldeans, okay, these sorcerers, the wicked one. He's being revealed. The sons of perdition. Right? The tongue falling upon themselves. I brought ascension. I might go bring it out. This is Exodus 15. In verse 15, it says, "Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab trembling shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away." All right. And when you look at it, this is when we came out of Egypt. All right, and Moses broke into that song. I think this is the song of Moses, the song of Moses. Okay, like I say, look to the right. It said the song of deliverance, And see, we're going to receive that song again, okay? It says, yeah. And we're going to have that new song going into Revelation 15, going into the songs of Moses, because those ones that Roseanne Barr just mentioned, that rulers of the world, they're going to be brought low. This man's rulership is over. Isaiah 47, sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, there is no throne for you. That is basically going into that rulership. This kingdom is going to be brought down to the dust. Okay? Yeah, it brought down to the dust. This is Revelations 15. I'll start at verse 2. It says, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, okay, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Yahweh, the Lord, power almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. See? So we're finna have that victory. Okay? We're not finna bow to need the ball. We're gonna endure to the end. Lord's willing, I'm a part of that number. Okay? And this is letting you know, these are the ones that rule the earth. Job 9:24. We got to keep saying that.
They're arms dealers. They're Nazi arms dealers. They also make prisons. They also make, poisons. They're invested in depopulation. The WEF, WHO, all those bullshit things out of the UN, they need to depopulate this planet of useless eaters, which they call us, because they have no place to ride their horses. And conduct their fox hunts or their people hunts or whatever it is they do that we all really know about but ignore. The reason that the vampire stories are so popular, take a look at that too. It's evil incarnate, and the owners of the world embody it.
And you are within that lineage. Like I said, but this is part of, like I said, the tongue falling upon themselves. Hey, this is a beautiful thing that we're seeing, because this wickedness of this earth and the ones who control the world is basically being spoke upon, and it's being brought out. But a lot of Jake ain't really see it until it's too late. That's why it said 2/3 of the nation of Israel got to receive the parts of the plague of this world. Going to be basically brought put in that fire. He told us that the elect is going to be beamed up and the 2/3 is going to receive what? They're going to be missile food along with these small hats. And like you said, look who controls it. The WHO, the world and the health and the organization, you know what I'm saying? The W to the HO. All right. All these different entities, what she just mentioned, we don't have no part in it. And I'm talking about we don't have no part. I'm talking about you Israelites. We don't have no part in that. No decisions done upon the earth is not a part of it. All the decisions are wickedness. Look at how the earth is done. And like you said, now look at what's going on right now with Fauci Dog. Now he up there pleading the fifth because what? He fed and injected all this poison in all these people. And now and they were mad at the ones that didn't receive it. And now look at them. Now what do you got to say? The ones that have received this juice And now he's basically pleading the fifth time. I don't want to say anything because basically I gave you some damn poison, you know. So this devil is being exposed. You know what I'm saying? So don't let no man deceive you. Don't let him deceive you. We fell away, but we're coming. We have been brought back. We've been redeemed through the blood of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yakin pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.